And while speaking of the Russia-Ukraine war, Ukraine says that it has destroyed Russian pontoon bridges with US-made weapons as part of its incursion into Russia's Kursk region. Russia confirmed that Ukraine had destroyed at least 3 bridges over the same river. Further, Ukrainian forces have released footage showing their strikes in the region. Video released by the Ukrainian Air Force showed smoke rising from explosions during a precision strike in Glashkovo. According to Ukraine's Air Force commander, the footage shows Ukrainian forces targeting enemy positions and equipment after the evacuation of civilians from the area. Kyiv has reported a string of battlefield successes since it crossed into Kursk on August 6th, but Moscow has steadily inched forward in eastern Ukraine, further pressurizing Ukrainian troops. Ukraine's foreign ministry has said that Kyiv has made bigger territorial gains in Kursk than Moscow has made in eastern Ukraine this year. Russia has called the incursion an escalation.
This video posted online by Ukrainian Special Forces on Wednesday shows strikes on several pontoon crossings in Russia's Kursk region. Ukraine says it destroyed them using US-made weapons. Reuters was able to confirm parts of the video from the river coast and terrain, which matched satellite imagery of the area. Kyiv has announced a string of battlefield successes since it unexpectedly crossed into the Kursk region earlier this month. But Russia claims its forces halted Kyiv's advance in the Kursk region and says it has gained ground in eastern Ukraine. The military is responding to the Russian push there, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, by strengthening its forces around Pokrovsk. Drone video released Wednesday by the Ukrainian 68th Brigade showed artillery strikes on Russian troops east of Pokrovsk in Donetsk region. Both sides reported being targeted by major drone attacks. Ukraine smashed through the Russian border in the Kursk region on August 6th in an attempt to divert Russian troops from the rest of the front. Its foreign ministry says Kyiv has made bigger territorial gains there than Moscow has made in Ukraine this year.
Now, while the attack on the Kursk region continues, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that they are strengthening forces in areas seeing Russian advances, particularly the Pokrovsk front in eastern Ukraine.
The front line. Our positions primarily in the Pokrovsk direction or Donetsk region. We understand the enemy's moves and are strengthening our defenses. A review of ammunition supplies has been conducted. It is very important that our partners fully meet their commitments regarding every package and all our agreements. This is fundamental for defense. Our operation in the Kursk region continues. Our combat work is ongoing and the steps are being taken. We control designated areas.
Meanwhile, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has now said that Ukraine has not consulted Berlin ahead of the August 6 shock incursion. Speaking at the press conference after talks with the Moldovan president, Scholz added that Germany is closely monitoring further developments around the incursion, but he reassured continued German support for Kyiv.
Germany will not cease to support Ukraine. It will provide aid as long as necessary. We are going to remain the largest national supporter of Ukraine in Europe. Only the United States provide more as a world power.
All right, our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, is in fact in Kyiv in Ukraine, is joining us for the very latest. Remember, Prime Minister Modi is headed to Kyiv for a historic visit. And Siddhant, well, a diplomatic tightrope there for Prime Minister Modi as he heads to Ukraine just weeks after he visited Moscow. And of course, there were Kyiv and Zelensky weren't very happy with that. So certainly the messaging will be important here.
Well, a significant visit of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Ukraine. This is the first visit of an Indian Prime Minister ever to Ukraine since its independence, and of course the first since war. And we know that India has good relationship with Russia, but India has been reaching out to Ukraine as well and the fact that the Indian Prime Minister will be present here meeting with President Zelensky in Kyiv on Friday, it is being seen as historic in many ways. Of course, when it comes to balancing, India has said that it has separate and standalone relationship with both Moscow and Ukraine. And while relationship with Russia has grown almost every year, we know that energy is something that has formed a new pillar. With Ukraine, India has been focusing on reconstruction efforts. India has been focusing on humanitarian aid as well. And when the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi sits for talks with the Ukrainian President Zelensky on Friday, he will have one single message, a message that dialogue and diplomacy is the only way forward when it comes to the ongoing war, and a solution cannot come on the battlefield, and essentially forging a solution requires both sides to sit together, because as India has been highlighting that this war is not only destabilizing the region but also impacting the global south as well in terms of high food, fuel and commodity prices. But ahead of the big visit here in Kyiv, there is tensions on the ground. The US Embassy earlier in the day issued an advisory warning of major attacks in entire country, including drone attacks. And they have issued this warning primarily because on Saturday, the Ukrainian side, of course, celebrates the Independence Day as well. And that can be one reason that there could be a spate of attack. But since WION team has been here since yesterday, we have seen only few times alarm blazing. It hasn't been doing, the alarms haven't been ringing so much. But what we have been told by locals here, they are also preparing for a major attack, including here in Kyiv.
Right, Siddhant. Certainly a very important and significant visit by the Prime Minister, which will be watched for its messaging by the West and the rest of the world, and of course a diplomatic tightrope nonetheless for Prime Minister Modi. Thanks indeed for joining us with the very latest. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.